Hey friends, I have a poll. If you feel like you're a brave person, raise your hand in the comments, obviously. So if someone were to ask me that, I would absolutely say no. And I was thinking about that because I've known for like a week or so that I needed to have kind of a tough conversation, and I don't want to. I've been trying to figure out like any way to not have this conversation, and then I ultimately just thought, you know what? You're just not brave. It's just not a conversation you can have. It's okay. We don't all have to be brave. Just like, you're just gonna have your life without this conversation. That didn't sit right with me because, as you know, I am not giving in to like the limiting beliefs that I've had my whole life. I'm going to live my life differently, and I'm going to live it with possibility. So I decided to think, why am I feeling like I'm not brave? Why am I giving up when it comes to something really scary? And just let myself off the hook with like, well, it's because you're a scaredy cat. You've always been. I really thought of bravery as like a firefighter, police officer situation where people know the dangers and they go out and they show up anyway. And so I thought, well, because I'm not that person, I'm not brave. And then I started to really think about that. And that's cuckoo, because bravery can be a physical thing, or bravery can be something else entirely. Like in our daily lives, we are so many times offered this opportunity to like show up in a really vulnerable way, and it's scary, and you're not like cured of the fear before you do the thing. Like, if I'm gonna have this conversation, I'm not going to have it when I've gotten rid of all of my fear. I will still be afraid and then have the conversation while being afraid. And the more I think about it, the more I realize that that is the kind of bravery that rings true to me. It's not an absence of fear, it's being afraid, but still showing up and still putting yourself out there. So I wanted to bring that up because I wanted to talk to you guys about it and see, do you feel like you're brave? And if you don't, are there things in your life that you're holding back on because you're like, I'm just not brave enough to deal with that thing, or to do this, or to talk to this person, or try this new thing? If so, let me just tell you that I am on your side. I also feel super scared, and that does not mean that it's time to just say no to that thing that you want to do. If you'll bear with me for a minute, let's just visualize the one thing that comes immediately to your mind that you've been putting off doing, that you know that you need to do, but it's scary to you. Do you have it? Okay. What is the worst case scenario that could happen if you do this thing? For some of you, if you do this, you might lose a relationship. You might have people think differently about you. You might have a panic attack. You might lose control, which is sometimes the scariest thing of all. If you know that you're going to do something, but you can't anticipate the outcome, that can be absolutely the most terrifying. Okay, now that we've said what's the worst that can happen, what's the best thing that can happen? Is there a relationship that can be healed? Is there a huge desire in your heart that you can fulfill? Is there a step that you can take and prove to yourself that you have follow through? Now let me just propose that we do not live our lives based on worst case scenarios. Let me just propose that we see the best thing that could happen from this, and we decide for ourselves, because we love ourselves and because we only have this one life, to go ahead and do that thing. It might hurt. It's gonna hurt, actually. At least for me, I'm just thinking about what I need to do. It's gonna hurt, it's gonna be scary, it's gonna make me feel bad because I kind of have to revisit some things that I don't really like visiting. So those are real things that will be happening for me as I go ahead and have these conversations that I need to have. And I can't control the outcome of the conversations. I really wish I could. For a while I was like, well, if I could just determine that everyone would be cool once I had this conversation with them, then I would do it. But that's I don't know, that's still just letting myself have an out. I need to grow as a person, and part of the growth is confronting things. It's being a big girl and just deciding that wherever the chips may fall, I'm going to do my part. I cannot influence or control anyone else's reaction or how they interact with the information that I have to give. All I can do is my part. And I just want you to consider whether that's something that you're willing to do, and whatever it is that first came to your mind when I asked you what's scary to you right now and what do you know you need to do. Being that we do have like this one life, we can't possibly be responsible for the outcome of certain things. All we can do is do our best. All we can do is show up every day and just try to give it all that we can. I'm not saying that whatever it is that you're scared to do, that you can just wake up one day and just do the thing. Maybe this is something that you have to do in parts, but I think you should recognize whether or not you're showing up in your life, whether or not you are minimizing yourself to give yourself a way out, whether you are saying negative things to yourself about how you're just not capable, or that's all just BS. That's all just a way of kind of excusing yourself from like confrontation or from fear or from the unknown. And you're better than that. You can do it. I can do it. I'm better than that. Please let me assure you that I'm never one time telling you something that I'm not telling myself. I absolutely am preaching to the choir. Furthermore, I want to offer you this. If there's something that you really need to do or say or try, and you want a second opinion, or you just need like a little bit of a cheerleader on your side, if it's something you can drop in the comments below, drop it in the comments. If it's something more personal than that, find me on Instagram and DM me and let's talk about it. I would love to be able to just brainstorm with you if there's like a strategy to this thing that you need to do. Let's do that though, because you can sometimes think like, I'll get to it when I feel a little bit better. That's the thing I've been telling myself this whole time. Like, I'm gonna get to a point where I feel good and where like I'm totally peaceful and I feel confident, and that's when I'm gonna have these conversations. And that's just apparently not ever going to be the case. I will never feel 100% about it because bravery is not feeling a lack of fear. There's so much space in our lives that we just have to be brave and remember that we're being brave by doing the thing in spite of the fear, not because the fear is just vanished. So every day that slips by with us just pushing it off, it's gonna be like 10 years from now one day, and it still won't be done if you don't decide today to make a plan. If you can't do it today, okay, well, what's your plan for doing that thing that's scary to you, that you know needs to be done? Well, I need someone to talk to, and I can't talk to anybody about it in my life because there are so many feelings. Okay, I got you. Come to me. I'm here. I am not overly invested, not overly sensitive to whatever it is that's going on in your life, and I can give you like an outsider's perspective. Totally fair if you don't want to tell me about it, because we probably know each other pretty well, but maybe you just feel like it's still too weird. Okay, then go ahead and identify someone in your life that you can talk to about this one thing and just get a little bit of coaching, someone you feel like is wise and who will not like tell you just what you want to hear, who will actually tell you straight. If you have access to a therapist, that's another great idea. But whatever it is, don't keep pushing it off. These things need to be handled. It's part of your journey. If you do the things that you know you need to do, they're just sitting in your heart and you know, I'm supposed to be doing this thing, having this conversation, trying this new thing. If it's sitting here, you're literally not going to move forward in your life in a big way until you address the thing. So now's the time. I believe in you because I believe in myself. And I'm just gonna let you know right now that the conversations I have are going to be awkward. because I am awkward, especially with important things, and it's gonna be painful because of the subject matter. And I might feel it for a couple of days and like need to write in my journal or just do some extra healing things for myself in the days after those conversations. But that doesn't excuse me from having the conversation. And I know that I will, and you will, feel better after we do this thing that we know we've needed to do. There is so much growth that you'll see in your life that I see in my life every time I do something that is brave, where I'm like fearful the whole time, but I still do it because I know it's right. And you and I, we've got to move forward. We are in charge of the way we use this one life that we have. We're in charge of giving our very best, even if that very best isn't like exactly what we'd hope for. Because I'll be honest with you, a lot of times my 100% doesn't look like what I think other people's 100% looks like. I feel like I'm so flawed in so many areas, and even when I try my best, I always think I wish it could have been different, but that's okay. I'm starting to not compare myself to everybody else. This is my best. And as I keep trying to give my best, I feel like the practice will make progress. So that's my word for today. I hope that if you needed to hear it, you heard it. And if you need the support, you will reach out for it, whether it's to me or for someone else. And I'm praying for those of you who need it as you reach out in your day and in your life to do something that's scary to you. I know you can. And I hope that you take this opportunity this day to like examine what those things are and to just give your very best. I know you can. I love you all so much. I love hearing from you, and I'm just so proud of the work that you're doing. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.